Assalamualaikum everybody, and this is Tahera Ahmed from Bangladesh, and with my whole family and the whole team of AUSN presenting my PhD proposal. It's a bit late in the day in terms of my age, but I'm proud to do it, and I'm very happy that I've been given this opportunity to bring this important topic to you for your views and for my PhD proposal. So the title is Awareness of Life Skills Concepts Among Young People in Bangladesh.
Yes, you can read it.
Yeah. How do I go down? Thank you. First way up. This will go down. Thank you. This is table of contents, so you won't go through that. Chapter 1, Introduction, Young People and Life Skill Education. Young people include adolescents and people from 19 to 24 years. Adolescence is a period of transition from childhood to adulthood. It brings on physical and mental changes, which often result in emotional disturbance, turbulent emotional behavior, insecurity feelings, and dependence on peers rather than on guardians or family members. As adolescence brings not only changes to the bodies, but expose the adolescents to vulnerabilities and abuses, particularly in the areas of sexual relationships, marriage, substance and alcohol abuse. The need for an education which will help to prepare them for these changes will be of extreme use to the young people and their families. These challenges require immediate and effective responses from a socially responsible system of education. Education is important, but education to support and live life better is more important. In this thesis, in the thesis that I will read, I will discuss traditional methods of family-based education and attempts over time to educate young persons with life skills. Bioethics allows us to make better decisions about moral dilemmas and how do we impart this art of decision making in young persons. It has been felt that life skills education bridges the gap between basic functioning and capabilities. It strengthens the ability of an individual to meet the needs and demands of the present society and helps in dealing with the above issues in a manner to get desired behavior practical. Desired practical behavior. Imparting life skill training through inculcating life skill education will help you to overcome such difficulties in life. This study focuses on the importance of life skill education and the benefits of imparting life skill education in our curriculum, that is developing social, emotional and thinking skills in students as they are important building blocks for a dynamic citizen who can cope up with future challenges and survive well. Most individuals do not think of the need for being mature, aware of self. Most often they do not pay attention on understanding our own strengths and weaknesses and the opportunities available and ahead of us. This sometimes results in low self-esteem, inability to handle pressures at work and in personal life, eventually ending up in depression and its after effects. Bangladesh scenario. Bangladesh has an adolescent and youth population of approximately 57 million people, amounting to 1/3 of the country's total population. This significant percentage, however, will not remain unchanged for very long, and it is projected that by 2050, only 10 to 19% of Bangladesh's population will consist of young people. This means that Bangladesh needs to invest in the human capital of young people and focus on meeting their needs without further delay. There is a need to ensure that a resource-poor country like Bangladesh use different innovative means to ensure a more educated, healthy and productive population during the second half of the century. The demographic dividend, which means that investing in young people will contribute to economic growth, poverty reduction, falling fertility rates and better social independence for the country. If we look at the adolescent group, there are 59.5 million adolescents in Bangladesh, including 14.4 million girls and 15.1 million boys, together representing only 1/5 of the country's total population of 144 million. Adolescents in Bangladesh face a number of issues, including high rates of early marriage, high fertility rates, limited negotiation skills, and insufficient awareness of and information about reproductive health, diverted and risky behavior, dropout, and many more. So adolescence period and the period immediately after that has a lasting impact on future decisions and lifelong issues. I hope this thing works now. Bangladesh has a high number of young people, including adolescents. This study is focused to resolve the above issues and these young people to make the right choices with regard to the future goals in life. This study will increase their self-esteem, self-confidence, as well as the ability to say no to fear, and other pressures to arrive at the appropriate choice to life skills education program. Definition. WHO defines adolescents as those people between 10 to 19 years. Young people, WHO defines young people as those who are between 10 to 24 years. So 10 to 19, 10 to 24. So young people include 10 to 24. Life skills. UNICEF defines life skills as a behavior change or behavior development approach designed to address a balance of three areas: knowledge, attitude, and skills. WHO defines the skills as the abilities for adaptive and positive behavior that enable the individuals to deal effectively with the demands and challenges of everyday life. Life skills are applicability. It is applicable for everyone, from children to adults, who would like to be more successful in career and look for a quality personal life. Ideally, if these skills are given from school age, they fail to be seen when the individual is ready to take decisions related to their choice of career and accordingly the selection of courses, be it professional or otherwise. Sometimes adolescents are faced with indecisive situations and without the skills or competency to resolve these problems, they often make the wrong selection which does not give a satisfaction in their own as well as family lives. Life skills education will help to bridge this gap. Categories of life skills. WHO has categorized most important 10 life skills under three broad categories: thinking skills, self-awareness, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, and creative thinking. Social skills, effective communication, empathy, and interpersonal relationships. There is a difference between empathy and sympathy. Emotional skills, dealing with emotions and coping with stress. Ask the famous basketball player Larry Bird about what constitutes a winner. He said, a winner is someone who recognizes his God-given talents, works his tail off to develop them skills, and uses these good skills to accomplish his goals. The reason for life skills training. There are 29.5 million adolescents in Bangladesh, including 14.4 million girls and 15.1 million boys, together representing nearly 1/5 of the country's total population of 144 million. At that time, India's population was at 2 level, but now it is 160 almost. Adolescents in Bangladesh face a number of issues, including high rates of early marriage, high fertility rates, limited negotiation skills, and insufficient awareness and information about reproductive health. Divergent and risky behavior, dropouts, and many more. As Bangladesh is 25% adolescents, this study is focused to resolve the above issue and help these young people to plan their goals, their life goals in a responsible and practical manner. Chapter 2. Research Design and Methodology. Research Methods. This study will be descriptive in nature, involving both quantitative and qualitative data collection methods. The descriptive method is a type of research that describes what exists in the current situation. This method involves the collection of data that will provide an account of individuals or groups. The quantitative part of the research will consist of survey using a questionnaire that is researcher-made and will be subject to reliability and validity tests. The qualitative part of the undertaking will use in-depth interviews and focus group discussions with key informants. A focus group discussion is a sort of group interview where a group discussion will be done together in a smaller group of around 5 participants. To achieve a functional ATE, it is to make the participants all feel on the same level so that all of them could speak freely. The qualitative method is also chosen in this research since it is deemed a suitable method for investigating people in different ways to reason and personal opinions. For investigating people's different ways to reason, how people use different ways to reason and their personal opinions. So this is very important. The primary data of this study will be taken from the responses of the key informants using the survey questionnaires and the focus group discussions supported by in-depth interviews. The study will use a cross-sectional design that will combine random and purposive sampling techniques in selecting the study area and the respondents. Aims and objectives. The aim of the study is to investigate the extent of awareness of life skills concepts among young people in Bangladesh. Specifically, this research seeks to answer the following objectives: to assess the knowledge of life skills concepts of young people in Bangladesh, to find out what they know about life skills, if at all, to determine the attitude of life skills concepts of young people in Bangladesh, and to come up with sustainable action plan to impart life skill education of young people in Bangladesh. So the research questions. The aim of the study is to investigate the extent of awareness of life skills concepts among young people in Bangladesh with the end view of coming up with proposals for improvement. Specifically, this research seeks to answer the following query. What knowledge exists among the young people regarding life skills? What are the perceptions of the young people regarding life skill practices in attaining sound life development? How necessary is life skill education to young people? Based on the findings of the study, what sustainable actions can be recommended to the government, colleges and universities to improve the life skills of young people? Significance of the study. This study will be conducive to provide the guidance and assistance to young people which will have a direct impact on the policies and programs of different stakeholders like the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Women and Children's Affairs, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Ministry of Labour, among others, as well as development partners, NGOs, private sector corporations like garment factories were closely linked with the young people because most of the girls who work there are adolescents but already married and maybe with kids. The significance of this research to these stakeholders as well as to the young people and their guardians are summarized as follows. Government of Bangladesh. The results of the study will provide the Government of Bangladesh policymakers and program managers clear knowledge on the need and effectiveness of life skills education for improvement in the quality of life and livelihood, and utilize the findings for development of life skills education program in their different operation plans and budgets, because that's where they actually have the action plans and the money. The officials will understand that the young person with these skills will be more competent, mature, and an asset to their families, community, and country. Geo-NGO partnership. The research findings will help to strengthen the Geo-NGO partnership to address the problems and draw up plans to resolve them. The study is of significance to the government officials as it will provide them on the basic information on the current condition of young people and how their respective programs and action plans will help the youth to lead a respectful and fulfilling life. This study will also help the government to redesign their ongoing programs to address the needs of the young people, which will also result in realizing the success of their programs like reduction of child marriage, which is a huge problem in Bangladesh. 66% of girls under 18 are getting married. According to the Convention on the Rights of the Child, they are children. The family and community. Study will help the family and community to gain knowledge about the physical and mental condition of adolescents and design specific action plans in the community to help the young people in their own lives as well as activities in the societies. As a result of the positive impact of life skills education, the entire nation will benefit in the long run, and there will be less economic loss in terms of manpower, rehabilitation centers, mortalities and morbidities due to childbirth pregnancies, and lead to a general overall improvement in lifestyle and wellness. In addition, the contribution of the young people to the family, community and society will impact positively on Bangladesh, its image and reliance as a safe, secure and a steadily developing country with well set goals for its younger generations who will contribute to the world community. Limitations. The study will focus on the young people of universities, schools, colleges, as well as local common young people of Bangladesh located in Dhaka district. Since minimal work has been done on life skills education, it will be difficult to make a real-life comparison on the effectiveness of the life skill practices and its ethical implications on the quality of life of the people in the community. As it is difficult to find people who have been trained in life skills program, research may take a longer time. There is another limitation. I somehow feel that the samples that I have said that interviewing school adolescents may be difficult. It may be more easy to interview the university and college students. So that's a limitation which should also have been here. Research respondents. The respondents of the study will include the young people in the Bangladesh located in Dhaka using survey questionnaires and the focus group discussions supported by in-depth interviews. These places will be chosen to build a better and wider perspective of life skill education and will pave the way to future discussions and action plans formulated by all stakeholders. For the students from universities, colleges, and schools, respondents will be chosen for FGD and questionnaire as respondents based on developed criteria. For the students from the universities, colleges, they will do their questionnaire, and only the guardians and the gatekeepers and teachers will do the FGD. There is a line missing there. The respondents must be at least 18 to 24 years old to ensure that she is mature and capable to respond to the queries in the questionnaire and the interviews to be conducted. The respondents should be old enough to take decisions affecting their future life, like relationships. What sort of relationships are they entering in? Like girlfriend-boyfriend relationships, education. What are the goals in education? Marriages. Do they want to get into a marriage right now when the girl is 16 years old? If not, then how can she say no? An immoral and unethical behavior. Expected research respondents are university, school and college are 100, guardians are 50, total is 150. So I may not be able to take the schools, but let me see how many I can get. But guardians definitely 50 is a very good number, and I plan to do that. Research instruments. This study will utilize the researcher-made questionnaire as the main instrument of data collection, in-depth interviews and focus group discussions with key informants will also be done to achieve the objectives. The queries will be translated to the local dialect by the field researchers so that the respondents will be able to get the grasp of the question and reduce bias and ambiguity. Data collection. The study will employ the research questions as a means of gathering the primary data of the research. Focus group discussions supported by unstructured interviews will be conducted to substantiate the responses given by the key informants. During the focus group discussion, the interviewer will lead the conversation like a moderator or a facilitator, using open-ended questioning. They translated in the local dialect so that all the participants will be on the same level. Informed consent. When conducting a qualitative study, it is very important to make sure, in fact, when conducting any study, it is very important to make sure the subjects are well informed about the research, what it is about, where the results will be published, and that in the participation is by free will. What this actually means is that the subjects have the opportunity to leave the interview if they do not want to continue. Also, the information on those who participate will be confidential, therefore, all information collected that can identify participants will be well protected. If names are to appear in the written report, they have to be changed to fictional ones or coded with letters to maintain the anonymity. Informed consent will be sought by all the participants, actually from all the participants. All participant information will be kept confidential, even though a few names could be mentioned during the interview and recorded, but they will not appear in the report. Since no one will be allowed to take a copy of the recording, the names will not become public in any way, and the confidentiality will be fully maintained. Only those respondents who are willing to participate in a voluntary manner will be included, and they will get full information on the research aims and objectives. Data analysis. Transcriptions to the computer will be made from all interviews, and information will be written down, including the mood and the repetition of words. After this, a concentration of the transcription will be made, as well as all data that will be of importance for future analysis will remain. So the data will be kept in an archive, so that if you want to make more studies out of it, you can do that. The method for analysis will be thematic. All interviews will be coded, which is a key process in thematic analysis. It's a method for identifying, analyzing and reporting patterns, themes and within the data. It minimally organizes and describes the data set in detail. A theme is meant to capture important parts of the data in relation to the such questions. In comparison, to analyze the qualitative data analysis does not comprise any set of rules as to how a qualitative analysis should be completed. But I have done FGDs before and I know how to do it, so that will be easy. That will really add quality to the research itself. Quantitative data will be collected from the completed questionnaires. The responses will be tallied and analyzed using cross-tabulation and descriptive statistical tools and related mean percentage charts with the aid of the SPSS version 2050. The results will be presented all in form of pie charts, tables and bar charts. Values and ethics. This study will have refocused on values and ethics which are being fast lost in this materialistic society power. Whatever values and ethics were taught in past generations are no longer being taught, and more of secularism and diversities are beginning to emerge as groups and parties of different political factions fight for supremacy. Young people are losing confidence not only in themselves but also in the general administration, and we can see that what is going on nowadays. The feeling among them is how to earn more money in the shortest possible time, and so instead of behaving in a moral and ethical manner, they compete fiercely for lucrative professions like customs department, police, as well as other regulatory positions, because that gives them the corruption money. Okay, being a teacher or a dedicated service provider is probably their last choice of profession. Newspaper reports have also shown that random killings for petty matters, quarrels, quite common matter, and dowry and other deaths are being reported often. This research will be valuable to all the population as it will show the gaps in knowledge and perspective of the young people on life skills and decision-making powers and possible negative linkages with current rate of yaba and other substance abuse, the defiance of norms set by civilization and the lack of respect and kindness to the other. This study will be useful to other researchers as it will be pathfinder for them to do further, more nationwide research and also slowly change the mindset of not only the young people but also the people in authority who are setting honesty and truthfulness and human standards to all men or women, rich or poor, with absolutely no caste, color or religious bias. Chapter 3, Literature Review. The topic has been of significant interest to the researchers, theorists and practitioners, and there have been numerous researches carried out to emphasize the importance and effectiveness of life skills education in the development of students' social, emotional and cognitive development and dealing with their psychosocial problems and issues. According to Albertine et al., life skills training enhance critical thinking abilities, which further impacts where living life actively, being responsible for the job and future planning too. Ramesh and Farshad in the study provided the effectiveness of life skills training in increasing mental and physical health, pro-social behavior and decreasing in behavior, social problems and self-destructive behavior. Self-destructive behavior in adolescence is quite prevalent, but we do not know whether any such studies have been done, nationwide studies have been done in Bangladesh. Smith et al. Noted significant improvement in interpersonal relationships and reduction in aggression and behavioral problems. Tutel et al. During the investigation added the life skills to students' curriculum. The results of the study suggested the extraordinary capability of teens to positive promotion and flexibility. Randa and Lugao proved that life skills training enhanced their psychosocial competency, and Pushpa Kumar in study showed that life skills training was effective in preventing a wide range of problems such as substance abuse, teenage pregnancy, violence, bullying, and to promote self-confidence and self-esteem among the adolescents. Rootbury et al. In their research showed that life skills training has a positive effect and improves social development, emotional and social adjustment, suggesting an increase in compatibility of children and public health. This thesis will focus on how enhancing social and emotional and thinking skills through life skills education helps the 21st century young people to achieve their goals, strengthen their abilities to meet the needs and demands of the society, and be successful in life. A relevant and proper implementation of life skills education is a critical need for today's society. Imparting life skills education to the students can be helpful as it specifically addresses the needs of growing young people, helps in motivating, providing practical, cognitive, emotional, social and self-management skills for life adjustment. The above showed positive results of imparting life skills education to students and leading the change in adolescents' attitude, thought and behavior by providing supportive environment to them. According to Erkat et al. And Kaplan et al., life skills education proves to be an effective approach in primary prevention education as it is more interactive, uses problem-solving approach and is activity-based. Hence, teacher and taught are both involved in learning and have found to, on the whole, life skill education have found to be an effective psychosocial intervention strategy for promoting positive social and mental health of adolescents, which plays an important role in all aspects such as strengthening coping strategies and developing self-confidence and emotional intelligence, as well as enhancing critical thinking, problem-solving and decision-making skills, as has been well documented in aforementioned studies. Now, these studies were not in Bangladesh, they were in different countries including India. Thus, there is significance and importance of life skills education to be integrated into the regular school curriculum and given on a daily basis by life skill trainer, teacher, counselor to enhance the mental health of students equip them with better adapted skills to face the challenges of changing life situations, and empower them to become fully functional contributors to the host society in particular and the world in general. In the light of the above discussion, it could be concluded that life skill education has importance and significance in overall development of young people. Our findings are in common to the findings of Borswin et al., Nair, and many more suggest that life skill education program has a good supportive system for adolescents. Chapter 4, Future Implications, Forward Thinking is important. Although considerable progress has been made in the past decade and in the present study too to reflect life skills education as an effective mode of education which enhances social and emotional thinking skills and helps the 21st century young people to achieve their goals by strengthening their abilities to meet the needs and demands of the present society and be successful in life, but still further empirical research needed from future researchers, academicians and professionals in the related field to demonstrate robust findings. Young Bangladeshis are optimistic about the future. We can see these are young students who have graduated, who are very happy, and they are taking pictures together. But now we are also seeing a very different view about young people, and that also needs to be taken into consideration. Bangladeshis are known for the resilience and ability to overcome the worst calamities and crises. This spirit of optimism was aptly captured in a youth survey which 84%, it's a small survey, so it's not nationwide. 84% of respondents have said that they feel optimistic to varying degrees about achieving their personal goals in life, and 47% are very optimistic. 55% respondents aged 18 to 20 said they are very optimistic. The corresponding percentage for those aged 23 to 30 was 46, and for those aged 30 to 40 was 35, which are not surprisingly shows optimism declining with age. In terms of personal goals and ambitions, out of 7 different categories, most respondents, about 37% have said that having a good job is the most important to them at the moment. When it comes to factors that get in the way of achieving personal goals, respondents, like 28%, have identified families' financial inability as a major factor. This was fairly even across all age groups, occupation, and both genders. The next major factor picked up by 19% of respondents is political instability. At the same time, most respondents have identified family as the most important institution for raising decent and ethical young people who are conscientious members of society. Chapter 5 results. These are all going to be done. The question is there. Should I put the question is there?
I think we can discuss it now. I think that's fine. Sure. People have questions. Thank you very much. It's a good job, I think, Tahera. And you can stand here while we have questions. We may want to look at certain parts of the pieces. Who has questions of the proposal? Taslima first, please.
Thank you, Ahmed, for your fantastic issue of PhD on adolescents, because adolescents are a problem now we are facing from last Tuesdays, that we cannot, communicate with them. So this critical, but for me, what you said about skill education and this, could you highlight on that? Because this is very important, I think, very important thesis for Bangladesh, especially because we do not really recognize adolescents. We recognize women, gender as a very big issue. We recognize, children, adults are already recognized. But for young people and adolescents, I think this is very important, because if they are aware of their life skills, to my mind, the question is, what do you understand by life skill training? Could you highlight on this? Thank you.
Thank you, Taslima. Tahera, please.
Thank you, Professor Taslima Mansoor, for your question and also for always your encouragement. Now, I've given some definition in the paper itself for life skill, but I can tell you, life skills, the impact of life skill will make that person, the young person, be responsible, understand the problems, don't try to manage their anger, know their situation, and behave in a positive way. So suppose there are about 8 categories. So one is say anger management. Now we see young boys, especially young boys, when they become adolescents, they will not listen to their guardians, they will listen to their peers. Now their peers, they are also not well informed and they do not know. And then they will often miss their classes, go out at night and maybe take substance, maybe go to prostitutes or other places. Now when the parents and guardians start to intervene, they will bang the doors and get out. Or girls will close the door and stay in the room. So this sort of management, that you must know what is good for you, what is your life ahead. And you are now in a transition period between childhood and adulthood. The conventional rights of the child said you are a child till you are 18 years old. Now if that is so, if the 16-year-old girl is going to be married, how does she say no? Okay, if she says no, the authorities, her parents, her guardians, the union, all of them will say, you are wrong, marry, your father is sick, this, that, others. Now she must develop the skills to negotiate, and if she cannot negotiate, then she can ask somebody to negotiate for her, showing the parents, showing the guardians that what is the positivity in not getting married, in getting the education, and what will be the negativity, the negative impact of getting married. Suppose the girls are not going to school, the boys are going to school, or boys are going to college, girls are not being educated. Now how will they deal with it? There are certain things. Now they have to work within teams. There are 8 categories. So I just go to 1 or 2. One is say time management. Young people in adolescence sometimes cannot manage time, and this is a big pressure for them. Like they have exams and they want to watch a football game before the exam, and they're cursing the teacher because they think the teacher is wrong. Now how do they think about it before that? One is that whoever is the teacher has to know that the football game is like ahead, so I have to give them some time. And secondly, the student has to know that this is a mandatory test like IITs, and I have to give. So he has to think that is this better for me in my life career, in my goal, or what is better? Should I watch the football match and not give the exam, or should I go for my IITs and go for the exam because it will open the future door for me? Now who will show them this? Life skill will show them this. Life skills will show them to take the proper decision now, because what decision you take now will impact on you in later life. If you smoke now, even if you leave smoking after 2 years, one day you are going to get something in your lungs. If you take drugs now, you cannot stop taking drugs. If you become violent now, you cannot stop becoming violent. And slowly you go to divergent behavior. So basically it comes down to one basic thing, the power to say no. The power to say no to the wrong thing, and power to think ahead. Now the whole lot is going out, bunking classes, they won't do anything, they won't study. Or they want to go somewhere and they won't study. A poor man's son, his father or mother are paying somehow to get the child's education. Now this child is to think that if I go with them now, then I lose this year. My family will lose this money and they will never give back. I lose the education and I will lose the key to my future. That skill will be developed. This is the competency that will be developed to say within yourself, self-management. Within all of us, there's something called the locus of the human heart, human person.